4, 3, 2, 1, watch me. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Them old mistakes are gone, I won't do them no more. That's old news, that's new news, I done did that before. I turn nothing to something, my comeback on 100. Let's talk it, more action, you just gon' see coming. I just keep elevating, no losses, just upgrading. My lessons made blessings, I turn that into money. They gotta never settle, this view is so much better. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. Oh, you can talk all you want. See me, I see greater, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can have it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone. We are getting ready for our Plan Your Bootcamp. It is time to take back your childcare business. Thank you for being on. It is day 3. And on day 3, we're going to be talking all things budget and finance and enrollment. So thank you for being here with us this week. If you are on, let us know how many years you've been in business. Let us know how many years that you've been in business. We want to know a little bit more about you. We've had a wonderful time this year. And as we're going into our 3rd night, let me see where you are. On last night, we talked about policies and people, and we talked about technology, and we followed that up today with our Q&A. And today we're going to be doing our day 3, which is focused on your plan completed, as well as making sure that you can put all the pieces together for your actual full annual plan. Now, some of you may have done an annual plan before, some of you may have not, but in all of our programs, we think that, that planning cycle is so important. So just a little bit about Childcare Millionaires. We have free programs as well as paid programs. So just being a part of this challenge, we welcome you in under our free programs. Hopefully you guys are getting into the Facebook. You're having those conversations, asking those questions. But we do have our Daycare University, which is for our newbies who are just starting out. Maybe you haven't opened a center yet. And now that program is under our ECE Learning Lab, our 2.0. That full course will be in that program. Then we have Leadership Academy for directors. This is a program that owners can put their directors through. That way their directors are more efficient in their role. We do this twice a year, and we normally have our in-person part of this in New Orleans, which that's where it will be this year as well. So this is a wonderful program for that. And then we also have our ECE Learning Lab, which is our new version of the accelerated membership. Then our Elevation Mastermind. This is our signature program where you have one-on-one coaching with myself and the coaches. So Bobby's going to drop an interest link. For those of you who've been on with us and you're like, man, I want to know more about the programs. I would love to know, when things are happening. You can fill out this interest form. We're going to drop that in just a second. Our Leadership Academy begins at the end of this month. Next week, we have an orientation and an interest meeting, but we start classes on January the 24th, and they go all the way to the conference. So some of you have seen videos of people graduating. When you see those videos of them graduating, they're actually graduating from Leadership Academy. So wanted to make sure that we took a moment this afternoon to kind of explain our programs. Someone asked, how long is the challenge posted? I missed a few sessions. All right, Miss Pat, you can get the sessions. You can get the sessions on our page until Sunday. After Sunday, they will only be available to our VIP participants. And I'll tell you, if you're not VIP, I'll let you know exactly what you can do to be VIP. Hold on, guys. I'm having a little tech issue with my light. My light decided that it wanted to be closer to me than I wanted it to be. Sorry about that. So yeah, you can get the replays today 1 and 2 right there on our Facebook page. So we are really excited about you guys being a part of the Plan Your Year Challenge. So for those of you who are like, what is the VIP? The VIP has 10 resources. It has a workbook that's over 80 pages. We need to update that 40 pages. You get 2 private Q&As. We did one today and we'll do one on next Tuesday. You get your SWOT analysis and all of the templates that we use throughout the week. And more importantly, you're going to get that compliance report. You're going to get your center review report and your monthly review templates, which we'll be going over today. So if you want to grab that, you can grab that. All you have to do is go to bit.ly, Plan 2026 VIP. Right. And that's how you would be able to grab that. So thank you so much for asking about those replays. We saw definitely an uptick in people actually doing their homework. So thank you guys for not just showing up, but actually doing the homework. We had great questions today about enrollment, about systems, about policies. So if you got on those VIP calls today, we are so proud of you. We are going to get started in just a second. What I do want to do today is I want to make sure that as we are going through this day, that you guys have a few things with you, right? So before we get started on the day, you will need one of the things you will need is like if you have your capacity and your enrollment numbers, if you will pull those, that is going to be advantageous for you because we're going to be doing some things with those numbers. You also may need, some of those general numbers like your lease payment and things like that. As we go through the day, we're going to kind of be filling out a sample budget to really help you move forward and to make sure that you are good to go as we're going into our budgeting, okay? And so before we get started, I just want to, again, thank you guys for really leaning in and doing the work that we've been doing. We're going to start a quick video and then we're going to get into our lessons for today.
Take my mind and take my pain.
Y'all saying I don't look like what I've been through. Can I tell y'all something? I don't look like what I'm going through. Can anybody say that with me? I don't look like what I'm going through.
And
Today we put an expiration date on the tears. We put a deadline on the disappointments.
Lord, you're the only one that can do it for me. We need you. We need you to heal, Jesus. Oh, you're the only one. You're the only one that can heal. So please heal.
But you know God mandated me to tell people no in this season. He said, Brandy, you're going to have to tell some people no. And I didn't understand why. He said, you're going to have to tell them no because they don't even pray to me. They just pray on you.
Restoration right now.
And just in case you don't know, that bell ringing means that somebody has made the decision to go ahead and take their business to the next level.
It's my time to shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly. It's my time. It's my time. I can see it.
goal should not try to be to build generational wealth. It should be to build dynastic wealth. Now somebody will say, well, Lamar, like what is dynastic wealth? Generational wealth is short-lived. Generations are only 25 to 30 years on average. When we leave dynastic wealth, we're talking about hundreds of years. What if I told you I only got the opportunity because even though it looked like I wasn't going to get the opportunity, I still expected the opportunity?
All right, guys. So that is just a recap of our last conference on our day 2. We had a phenomenal time, and we're going to have a phenomenal time tonight getting into our content. So over the last few nights, we've had homework that we had to do every single day. And so on our first night, just to walk through and make sure that you're on track, you were supposed to do your 22 questions. That was one of your assignments. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, you're supposed to do your 22 questions, your SWOT analysis, and schedule a time to meet with your staff. Hopefully, you have done those things. And then on last night, we really talked about policies. We talked about procedures. We talked about, people in our business and what we needed to do. And then our homework for last night is we needed to complete our owner analysis, our staff avatars, and our staff training plan for the year, right? So if you did those 2 days, let me know. If you've done 1 and 2, put 1 and 2 in the chat. If you've done just day 1 or just day 2, let me know where you are. Because this week is about information, but it's also about implementation. And on tonight, we'll be talking about profit and planning. Now, I don't know about you, but it's super important to me that I run a profitable business. If that's important to you, give me a yes in the chat. Now, it's one thing to run a business that is impactful because, there are some businesses that are impactful that are nonprofits or even for-profit businesses. But it's also important to me that I run a business that's solvent, I run a business that's sustainable, and I run a business that's profitable. You can't really do that without planning and without knowing your numbers. So on tonight, we're going to talk about the profit part of annual planning. All right. All right, so I'll go back to that. So you can't plan a year without talking about financials and growth. So let's look at that. What do we want to have in our business? So the key to a healthy business and a healthy profit margin starts with enrollment. I mean, literally, there's no way around the topic if you're in childcare. It doesn't matter how many grants you get, what kind of startup money that you have. If you want to run a profitable business, you have to have enrollment. And the first part that we want to get to is just a break even. And that's when all of your bills, your salaries are being taken care of. But break even is not the goal. The goal is to get into profit. Everybody put profit in chat. In a healthy business in childcare, the profit margin should be about 15%, but we would love to get up to 20%, all right? But if you're running at 15% profit for the year after paying yourself, you're actually in a healthy business model. If you're running lower than that, then you are in a business model that 1 or 2 things could happen that could shift you from being profitable to not profitable, right? And there are some I want to say percentages that I like to follow when I think about profit, when I think about how much I'm spending on everything. But sometimes we need more students and sometimes we need less expenses. So I'm going to say in this season, you need to go through and do two things. You need to say, hey, do I need more students or do I need to control my expenses? Now, many of the owners I've talked to, they've been running a lean budget. They haven't been like overspending. And if they are overspending, I find that they're overspending in payroll, right? Your payroll should never be more than 40 to 50% of your revenue. Anytime your payroll exceeds 40%, 50% of your revenue, you're in a danger zone in childcare, right? And then your rent, your lease should not exceed no more than 10 to 15%. That will leave your other operating expenses at about 20%, which will put you at like a 20% profit margin. So some of us know like, hey, I'm spending too much or I need more students. Which one is it for you? Gisette said, hey, I need students. Like, I'm not spending a lot of money. I know that I need more enrollments, right? And I'm sure she's looking at her income and revenue to make that assumption. But you tell me, for you, is it more students or is it less expenses? Which one is it for you? For me, I'm going to say two. I'm working on more students. I've been very transparent all this week that I want to make sure that our student count stays at the 85 to 90% that we need to keep our profitability up. I believe that we're running a pretty lean budget. Justina says, I need less expenses. So Justina, to you, I would say, hey, let's go through your expenses. Let's go through your payroll. Let's go to what you're spending on different programs and projects to see where you could cut those expenses. Some of the things that I like to do at the beginning of the year is I want to look at my electric bill. I want to make sure I'm getting the right kilowatts. I want to make sure my cell phones are not being overcharged. I want to make sure our internet, we have the best package with our cable and internet. A lot of times we set something up and we never go back and renew those contracts. So they just start charging us more and more and more and more. And so we have a responsibility to check those expenses. Okay. So in order to get more students, we do have to focus on student attraction and retention. So there is a page in your workbook that kind of helps you identify what are your selling points of your school? What makes your school special? What special programs? Some of you have extended hours. Some of you have transportation. Some of you have certified teachers. Some of you take care of special needs students. So whichever one it is for you that makes you stand out is very important that you use those as marketing highlights in your marketing. Don't be scared to pat yourself on the back of what you do. If you have beautiful facilities, I want to see those facilities on your social media. I want to see them on your website. You want to be able to highlight those things that really make your center stand out, right? So in the workbook, there's a marketing plan. And when we were talking today at our VIP, many of the ladies were sharing to me, like, I'm really not focused on marketing, right? If you have a high focus on marketing and you have a routine marketing plan that you are using on a regular basis, I want you to put a number 3 in the chat, right? You're using social media, you're using ads, you're updating your Google, you have print flyers, you have business cards, you have good banners, you have a solid marketing plan. I want you to put 3 in the chat. And if you feel like, I know that I need more students, but to be honest, Coach Brandy, I haven't really spent a lot of time or energy on my marketing. I really haven't known where to start. I want you to put a 1 in the chat. Let's see where we are. Okay. So I see a few ones coming in. So when you do your student plan and you looking at your marketing plan, these are some things that you want to look at. One, what is your main source of leads? Some of us love to say it's word of mouth. But if we're not full, word of mouth just ain't something we can depend on like we used to, okay? So you need to know what are your marketing channels. Like you need to go to your Google page. You can literally see how many people are looking at your page every single month, right? You need to have a marketing goal. Our goal is that we schedule at least 20 tours per month. What's your tour goal? Because your tour goal is going to lead to your enrollment goal. Your directors need to know, hey, this is how many tours we need to do in order to close the number of students that we need to close. Okay. Then you're going to ask yourself, what's your marketing budget? Now, in a dollar amount, drop what your marketing budget is in the chat. If you have a dollar marketing budget for the month or for the year, drop it in the chat. So the way that I decide my marketing budget is based on my anticipated enrollments. So we use our enrollment fees to feed our marketing budget. So typically our centers have a marketing budget of about $1,000 per month. In slow seasons, we may drop it down to $750 to $500. And that's per month, right? And there's some things that you should be doing on a monthly basis, and there's some things you should be doing on an annual basis. So you know you don't have to print business cards every month. You don't have to print banners every month. But my suggestion is that you should be doing some social media marketing. We run an ad that's about $10 a day. So that's about $300. You should be doing some kind of promotions. So if you have promotions and like you're giving parents a discount or you're giving referral fees, that's a part of the marketing budget. You should be having graphics, right? That you are refreshing for your page. You may even be paying someone to run your social media. But the way that I think about those dollars is literally my marketing budget is less than 1% of my overall revenue. But I look at how many enrollments I expect per month, how much I'm going to get in those registration fees, and I put that back into marketing. So if every month I want to, get 10 new students until I'm full, I'm willing to spend $500 to $1,000 in order to market my center. And if I do that and I get those 10 enrollments, I've just captured another $120,000 in my annual budget. So is spending that per month, spending $1,000 per month, worth me getting 10 new enrollments? Absolutely. So we want our social media to be updated. We want our website to be updated. And all of those marketing dollars are not just for like ads and promotions. It's also to run the automations in the systems that we have. Does that make sense? And so if you're saying, hey, I'm spending only $100 in marketing per year, just didn't say, hey, I'm spending about $1,200 per year. That's only about $100 per month. That may not be enough to close the revenue gap that you have. All right. So I want you to think about it as any other investment. How do I make my center show up? If you're not updating Google, you need to make sure you're updating your Google monthly so you can keep your Google ranking high. So when people look for childcare in your area, that they're finding you and they're finding you first. All right. So you want to make sure you take time and you complete the marketing plan that's in your workbook. and really decide on what is that budget amount that you want to use. And again, like what enrollment specials do you want to run? Right now we're running an enrollment special for our new parents to get a free week. So how does that work, Brandy? You're giving out a free week of tuition? Yes, but not the first week. So the way it works is they pay their enrollment, they pay their first week, they pay their second week, their third week, their fourth week, and their fifth week. And on their sixth week, I give them a free week. But this is how I told you yesterday we had enrolled 11 students. As of the end of the day today, we are at 14 students. And it is the 8th of the month, and we only opened on the 5th. We've enrolled 14 students using this promotion, right? And so our promotion is you get a free week. And then for the parents who refer, we give them a small tuition credit of $100, okay? This is allowing us to fill those empty seats that we already have students for. How many of you would love to be able to say, man, I've already enrolled 14 students? And listen, I have been, those of you know I have been sick. I'm on Tamiflu. I'm not feeling my best. I wasn't responsible for those enrollments. My staff was responsible for those enrollments, right? They just had a system to follow. And so we're getting leads in through our ads. We're calling those leads, daily. We're having those automations saying, oh, thank you for your interest. Here's how you schedule a tour. We're using our system. We talked about yesterday, not being a daycare dinosaur, to make sure that we can fill those seats. And our goal is 30 enrollments for this month between all of our schools. That is our hard goal. 30 enrollments this month, 30 enrollments next month, and 30 enrollments in March. We are trying to fill up that center because what happens in the summer, right? In the summer, you start having this little slump. You have some kids that go to grandparents, dad's house, and then, of course, you'll have your summer enrollments. But typically, we want to make sure that our April and May pays for the summer, okay? Oh, yeah, we put out a flyer. We put it, Valerie, you have access to those flyers. They're in your elevation graphics that are in your portal. You have access to those flyers. And anybody who did Enroll 20, you have access to those as well, right? And not only do we put out flyers, we let our parents know we're running the special. We let them know if they refer another family that they get a tuition credit, because our goal is to not only me be the marketer, right? We want everybody in the ecosystem marketing. So a lot of times we're marketing, but we're the only person. But you should be using your teachers, your parents, technology through ads and through Google. All of that should be a part of your marketing efforts, right? I think also is really important, if you are going to really run a sound center, is you need to make sure you have student events internally and externally to make sure that your parents are very engaged, because your parents should naturally be boosting you up. The parents that you have, they should be talking about, oh my God, this is what we did for Christmas. This is what we did for 100 days of school. You need your school to be braggable, right? Parents love to brag on their students. So we do this marketing plan every year. We think about our enrollment specials that we're going to run, our student events, internal and external. So in January, we have our Dream Day for Martin Luther King. We do like Dream Week. We have Dream Day where the kids post their dreams. That's an event. And we also have 100 days of school that we'll be doing. That would be like internal. And external, we do an open house every January, right? In February, we have rodeo season. So we have our Go Texas Day and our rodeo season. So you want to have internal and external events that are drawing people to your school all year long. We're all good about in August, we do backpack giveaways and this and that. But we can't just market our business 1 month a year, right? We have to make sure that we're marketing our business all year long. So what are some student events that you can have in your center? Drop some ideas. I've seen people have sneaker balls. open house, parent-teacher conferences. What are some things that you can do in your center that would highlight your programming? Absolutely, I would. You may not know this, but I think it's Canellis. My first center was a converted home. We could take 19 students. And even though it's a home, you want to treat it with the same vigor as you would if you had a center, right? And people that I see successfully move into centers, they treated their home just like it was a business. So absolutely. All right. Absolutely. All right, y'all are quiet. I want y'all to drop some of those good things that you guys do with your parents. I've seen people have picnics in the park. Kimmy said we had a 90s themed fundraiser. You can do mommy and son, daddy and daughter dance. I mean, there's so many things you can do. Participate in the local parades. Right? Latanya said they're doing a Black History Month program. Drop some other great things you can do because people want something to brag about. They want their center to be the highlights, right? They want to know that their child is going somewhere where there are activities flowing. So we cannot talk about budgeting without talking about our revenue gap, all right? Keep it coming. I see them now. Parents night out. Yes, come on. Muffins for mom, those for dad, family picnic, Thanksgiving luncheon. All of these events give our parents a chance to get sticky with us, right? We want to make sure that our parents are invested, right? Ashley said we do a sneaker ball, we do a Harvest Fest, Grandparents' Day, right? All of these things give our parents and our students something to look forward to, and it makes them tell other people. It gives us things to also post on social media, right? So I love it. Now, this is an activity that we can't talk about budgeting without talking about revenue and revenue gaps. Now, I told you were going to need a few things in order to do this activity. Christina, don't start. We haven't even started yet. Now, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I'm really big on knowing our earning potential. And if you know your earning potential and what that gap is, that's called the revenue gap. So the first thing I want everybody to do is go ahead and drop your capacity. Drop your all right. So I see some brave people saying that they theirs is 6, 45, 20, 179. Right? This is capacity. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do our student gap. This is your capacity minus your enrollment. And for the sake of this activity, we're just going to do our first shift. We know some of you guys have multiple shifts. So what I want you to do, can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. It says my volume is on. If you can hear me, put a 2 in the chat if you can hear me. Just want to make sure everybody is good. Okay, they're saying yes. They can hear me. I'm not sure. Maybe your sound went out for a second. Okay, cool. Y'all scare me. So we're going to do our student gap. This is our capacity minus the number of students that we can take. And just for the sake of me participating, I'm going to do our student gap on my elite campus, right? And so right now we have a student gap of 21 students, right? We bought this center in May. We've maintained some enrollment, but we have a student gap of 21 students right now. Right? So this is easy peasy. See, Christina, right now your gap is only 2. I know we're only doing 1 shift. All right. And so to figure out your revenue gap, we're going to do an activity. I'm going to show you it as an example, and then we'll all calculate our own. So for this, we use the tuition for our toddlers. We find that our toddler tuition is the closest to our average tuition rate. If we divide our tuition rate between all of our students, if you took all of your students, divided by your revenue, divided by 4, you're going to get close to your toddler rate. But we don't want to do any complicated formulas. So we're going to just use our toddler rate. So can everybody drop your toddler rate in the chat? Everybody drop your toddler rate in the chat. That way, I don't know. No one is cheating. Go ahead. Go ahead and drop your toddler rate in the chat. We're moving slow on purpose. I want to make sure everybody feels comfortable with this activity. All right, keep dropping. Now, if you are a monthly person, you can modify this formula a little bit. But if you are weekly, which most centers are weekly, you're going to just use the formula as is. All right. So many of us have dropped our toddler rate in there. So when we do our revenue gap, we are looking at this formula, right? So we take our number of seats that we have empty. So in this case, it's 22 seats in this particular assignment. They can take 72, but they only have 50. So they have 22 empty seats. And so we take those 22 seats times the toddler rate, and we get what they're missing in weekly revenue. And then we times that times 50. And this gives us our annual revenue gap. So you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to follow this formula. You're going to do empty seats times the toddler rate times 50. And this is your revenue gap. Now, if your rate is annual, you can do it times 12. All right? You can do it times 12. So you're going to use empty seats times your toddler rate times 50. So if I do mine, I'm in it to win it with you guys. All right. For me, that came up to 194. Right? Drop yours in the chat. Drop yours in the chat. All right. This is good, Angela. You down to 1 pre-K spot, so you want to multiply that times 12. Okay, once you have your rate. Hey, Rachel, how are you, girl? Rachel was one of our DCU pitch competition winners. You want to do the whole formula, your empty seats times the rate and times 50. We're going to do the whole formula. And then drop that amount in the chat. All right, Catherine got hers. 210,000. Angela got hers. Justina got hers. Okay, keep going. This is what we're working toward. That's why we have to start focusing on enrollment from the beginning of the year. We do not want to wait until the end of the year. We do not want to wait until May to start focusing on enrollment. We want to start focusing on enrollment to close that gap as fast as we can. All right. And my student that school that needed 21 that I went, they actually enrolled 3 kids this week, but I can't count them until they actually start. So we're already moving to, get that gap down. This is where most of your answers to your problems lie. If you could capture this amount of money, would that not solve your problems? Would that not help you pay yourself? Would that not help you raises? Would that not help you upgrade your building? Would that not help you buy your building? So if we're going to have an annual plan, our focus has to have some financial wellness. And the only way that we get that financial wellness is if we focus on enrollment. So my question to you is, what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you going to do about it? How are you going to demand that this revenue that's already locked in your business, how are you going to access it? You cannot access it without a good marketing plan, right? You cannot access it without being very intentional about how you're showing up and how your teachers are showing up. How would this change your ability to grow, your ability to open that next center? We are going into our marketing plan, really structuring it around enrollment, around making sure that we have assigned programs, that we're not having any issues, and that we're closing this revenue gap. So if you want to, you can take a picture of this. That way you can do it anytime you want to. This is the formula for your revenue gap. And, I really encourage you guys to do it at least once a month, once a quarter at the bare minimum, because you want to always know, hey, this is the gap I'm trying to fill. I know this would answer a lot of problems for us. Okay? So, annual planning is for bosses. Now that we've looked a little bit into like our marketing and our budget, and we know, hey, I got some earning potential. Antoinette says, listen, I have $206,000 locked into my business. And she has those girls that want to go to college and they work with her. I know like that will help her so much, right? And so when you think about that and you think about, your planning, this is where everything starts to come together. So you have an annual plan template inside of, I'm going to move this, and I'm going to go to our more current templates. Move, add to see. Okay, here we go. So your annual planning template is going to look like this inside of your workbook, okay? It's going to take you through a lot of the components that we've already done this week, right? And so the reason why we did those small components is so you'll be able to put it together. So you're going to do your center name, and you're going to go and do your highlights. What are some highlights for your center? What are some of your financial highlights? What are some of your major growth milestones that you would like to meet this year? And it gives you some clarification of what each one of those mean. But for me, one of my strategic highlights, and I'll go through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that way you can kind of see the thought process around it. And guys, all of this is in your VIP workbook. So one of my strategic highlights is that we operate 4 centers in the greater Houston area, and we operate in the suburbs, right? That's a highlight, right? Just explaining who we serve. Two says a financial highlight. This should include assets, current revenue, revenue goal, profit margin. You know, I already said a healthy profit margin is 15%, but if you can get to 20%, that's great. Our profit margin goal for this year is 12%, 12 to 15%, right? So, Brandy, why is your goal less than 20? Because I know I have 2 new centers that are growing, and so I want to be realistic in that goal. But if I can pay myself and we can reach our revenue goal of 3.5 million, and we can have, 10 to 12% of that in profit, that would be great for a company of our size. All right. Operational highlights and keys. We are leaning into technology more and more this year, right? So we're trying to use technology to reduce our costs and to increase our proficiency, right? And some growth milestones. When we get those 2 new centers to 60% capacity, oh my God, that is going to be a day that I dance and I celebrate. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is just show company highlights. If you got it, just put got it in the chat. If that's clear, just put got it. I'm going to go through the whole annual plan template, and you're going to spend the weekend completing this template before we meet on next Tuesday. Right? All right. Thank you, Tawana. All right. The next part is your financial overview. And this section probably is going to take you, I'm going to say 45 minutes to an hour, because you may need to pull some things. Hopefully you guys have great accountants and great CPAs. But if not, you can do some good old-fashioned accounting, right? You can just go and look. So you want to know, like, coming into the year, how much cash do you have on hand? You want to list all of your assets. And when I say assets, I'm talking about vans, technology, like computers, if you have cameras, anything that you can depreciate, you want to list those assets. I don't go in and list every table and every chair, because that's a lot. But I do go in and list those main assets in my building, especially the ones I'm depreciating. And then liabilities. Some of us, you may have debt, right? You may have a loan. You may have a credit card. Anything like that. Anything you're paying off on a monthly basis, you want to list it, right? And then, anybody here have an SBA loan? SBA loan? The SBA right now, if they're doing 6 months of forbearance for people who need it. So if you have an SBA loan and you're like, oh, I could take a little break right now, you may want to go into your SBA portal and you can request a 6-month payment extension. And they will actually give you 6 months off. Sometimes they'll give you 6 months and you have to pay half, but sometimes they'll give you 6 months and you have to pay nothing. And I'm going to say use it if you need it. If you don't need it, hey, continue to get out of debt. But you do not want to, if you need to go into the beginning of the year, like today we paid property taxes, today and yesterday, and our property taxes, across the board is trends at about $65,000, right? So listen, any help I can get the first 3 months, you may want to ask for that help. But you want to list all the loans and liability. And then you want to kind of calculate your tuition and your expenses. For those of you who are in the ECE Learning Lab, we'll actually be doing this part as one of our activities, because I want to make sure you have a tight budget. You should know if you're going to be profitable based on your projections January 1st. You should be able to calculate based on your expenses so you can know, hey, oh my God, if everything tracks this way, I'm going to have an overage of $50,000. Or if everything tracks this way, I'm going to be negative $29,000. You can do that by completing the budget template, which will allow you to estimate what will be your profit and loss for the year, right? So then in the profit plan, another thing that I suggest you do is kind of plan how much you're going to put away for retirement, for expansion, your long-term reserves. So you don't want to eat your seed. You do want to put something away. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes just to look at some of those expenses and to write it down. I'm going to just give you guys a all right. Yeah, I was giving you guys a moment to do those activities. One of the things that sometimes we don't count is those merchant fees. So one of the things that I decided to do about 2 years ago is pass the merchant fees on to my parents. We were paying every year, on average, about $45,000 just in merchant fees. It's not frozen, guys. I said I was going to give you guys time to do that assignment. So you should be able to hear me pretty good. Right? And so you want to make sure that some of those hidden costs you also take into account. Right? And then you should be able to do that. The next part is your SWOT analysis, which we've already talked about. So on this page in your annual plan, you're going to do your SWOT analysis. And you're also going to continue that marketing plan. Now, remember, we already started the marketing plan, so you don't have to start from scratch. But who are your competitors? What is your pricing going to be? What's your budget for marketing? And what is your biggest marketing strategy? So if you do the marketing plan, then you can just pull that over into your annual plan, right? For me, my budget, like I said, is $500 to $1,000 per month. So it's not, so expensive where, it's hard on me, but I'm trying to make sure that we're continuing to show up. And my marketing budget, remember, does include all of our systems that we use. Because a lot of people think of marketing just to get new students and new families, but marketing is also to retain the families you have. So that includes like your management system, whether you're using ProCare, Playground, Brightwheel, whatever system that you're using. All right, and then it'll go into your goals, your goal setting, your 1 year goals. And I'm going to caution you guys, try not to have more than 3 to 4 goals. Something could be on your to-do list. If it's something that you can like knock out in a week or a day, that's not really a goal. That's just something on your to-do list. So one of my goals would not be like to make sure my files are compliant. That's kind of an understood goal. But it may need to be something on your to-do list. A good goal may be that, that we get no more than 3 deficiencies in a year, or we get no deficiencies in a year. A goal could be that we do our student assessments 3 times a year, that we maintain 80% of our capacity in enrollments, right? So you want to make sure your goal is something that you can work on all year long. And then I encourage you to do your 3 and your 5 year goals as well. Does anybody have a 1-year goal they want to share, right? If you have a 1-year goal that you're going after this year, you want to share it in the chat, whether that's to open a new center, open a new shift, get more teachers with their CDA, right? Those are some goals that you want to plan for. And if it's a goal, you got to have a budget to put behind that goal. And then at the end is just a place for your notes or other things that are relevant to your annual plan. And then going into your workbook, we actually have put in there some monthly check sheets, right? So if you have these goals, I love this. Y'all keep dropping those goals. Justina says, I want to open a new center. Robert says, my first center. Experience a family to a center. Keep it coming. I love this. You can actually track your progress each and every month. So at the end of your workbook, you're going to see that they're going to have these check sheets where you can say, hey, this was my goal. Am I tracking towards my goal? Because planning is one part, execution is the second part, and the other thing is to reflect and review so you can decide exactly how and where you can get better. Okay? And so when you put all of that together, you literally would have completed your annual plan for the year. All right? So now this is where the hard work begins, right? It begins with you sitting down and going through and making sure that you are ready, right? So I need you guys to make a promise that you're going to finish your annual plan, and then you're going to review it and adjust it with your team. Don't forget, one of your goals was to set aside time to kind of go through your plan with your team, because this is not about you being an army of one or you doing everything on your own. This has a lot to do with you making sure, as a team, that you guys understand the vision and understand how you guys are moving forward. So in that template, you can actually type into that template to make it a little bit easier for you, or you can freestyle it. Those of you who came to my last VIP, I was showing you how we use ChatGPT to help us, flush out that annual plan. You do that as well. But I definitely want to make sure that you commit to spending time to finish out all components of the plan. Even doing your full annual calendar. That way, when you're closed, when you're not closed, you take some time to make sure that you do those things. Now, for those of you who are like, Randy, this is great, but I need some ongoing support. I just want to remind you, our goal here at Childcare Millionaires is really to support you through your journey of ownership, okay? And so once you get that plan, how do you hold yourself accountable to continue to grow and create systems? And this is one of the reasons why we created the ECE Learning Lab. I know we talked about it on last night and we talked about it on our VIP, but we wanted to make sure that you know that our bonus of giving you a free ticket to our conference is just for this promotional season only. So we don't want you to miss out on it. So once you have your annual plan and you're starting to work that plan, there are going to be some systems that you're going to have to come up with. And we don't want you out there spending extra time doing all of this system creating on your own when we have systems that you can literally plug into. So our ECE Learning Lab is one of our paid memberships where we help you fix those broken systems, help you strengthen your team, increase your enrollment, improve your profitability, and to make sure you're using AI and technology to save time, right? We don't want you doing things the hard way. And so in this ECE Learning Lab, we have a monthly training every single month where we are focusing in on one part of your business to make your business better, right? Making sure that you are staying highly focused on marketing your business, on your compliance, on your staffing, your finance, your curriculum. So we'll have a class every month what I'm most excited about is our monthly implementation lab. So in our portal, because once you sign up, you get instant access to everything that we've already created. But we found that people sometimes use the tools that they love, but there are things that they don't know that are in there. So we will be teaching on new tools every single month. Not just, hey, you can use this, but this is how you use it. And we'll be using it together. So this month, our focus is on budgeting and on marketing. So we invite you to join us on that. And then every month we'll do a huddle. This is an opportunity for you to talk to each other. We'll have Q&As. We can work through issues that you're having in your center, do some laser coaching, even talking about what you're rolling out so you can get feedback on those things. And already when you sign up, there's a vault. So this is not something that we are creating from scratch. These, you have instant access to over 50 classes, instant access to over 50 tools right away. And then we'll be adding on to that every single month. And then we're focusing on some micro trainings because everything don't take an hour class to do. So we'll be doing some micro trainings that you can watch just like a podcast. And you can actually download the app so you can access all of these things just from an app on your phone. Make it easy for you to log in and get the things you need at your fingertips. And so we wanted to make sure we also gave you guys some done for you social media because we know when you market, you make more money. And we don't want you guys out there spending money on things that you don't need to spend money on. And we talked about our technology integration. So these are the things that you get every month. Justina, you will actually get a newsletter as soon as you sign up, most likely, because our activities start on next week. And all of our activities are recorded. And so if you miss something, you can always watch the replay. So you don't have to worry about, oh my God, I can't get to something. We record all of our classes and we always put them in the portal. So the price of our ECE Learning Lab is $197 per month, or you can take advantage of our huge discount of doing $797 for the entire year. And our big promotion is when you do that, you get a free ticket to our conference. And you get one free ticket to one conference. So you can choose if you want to come to the May conference or if you want to come to the November conference. So, Robin, to answer your question, it's either $197 a month or you can do $797 for the whole year. So you can do the whole year for the price of 4 months. Plus, you get a ticket to our conference, which is normally valued at $797. So it's like a win-win for you. Bobby, if you can drop that link. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's see here. I'll drop it for you guys. It's childcare membership. There we go. And you can sign up there. And as soon as you sign up, you get instant access to those things that are in the portal. So I'm going to see if we also, for those of you who are like, man, I just want to know more about the organization, I'm going to also drop our program interest form. If you fill out that form, we have a team that can contact you and give you everything that you need. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Girl, I am pushing my way through. As you guys can see, I'm pushing my way through. I believe in integrity, but trust and believe. When I get off, I am going to take care of myself. Thank you so much for recognizing that. So we want to make sure that you guys knew about the ECE Learning Lab. We cannot wait to work with your centers closely over the next year. We are really excited about the things that we're going to be doing in Childcare Millionaires, and we definitely want you to be a part of those things. If you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the chat, and we will answer those questions for a little while. And while we're doing those questions, we'll just put on a quick video, and that way we can grab those questions and answer those questions as they come in to help you guys get signed up tonight.
One of the things that I know about homecoming is it's a celebration. And it's not just a celebration about you, but it's a celebration about those that you meet, that you knew, that you made memories with, and that you're going to make memories with. We're going to exceed expectations of the world. You know, they say things like, I know you work over there at that little center, that little daycare, with them little kids, with your little employees, and you got your little house. Ain't nothing little over here. This is Texas, right?
If you can't have a hard conversation, you can't be a leader. If you're afraid of people, if you need everybody to like you and want to be your friend, you can't be their leader because you're going to lose. And you said you're here to win.
We want you to know that the kids that depend on you each and every day, they think that you're the biggest person in the world. They love you, and, you know, we just really want to thank you as owners for what you do in the business every single day.
All right, guys. So I do have a few questions in the chat. So Valerie, for you, I don't think you're a lifetime member. I know you're in Elevation Mastermind. All of our Elevation Mastermind members get access to all of our programs. But for those of you who do have a lifetime membership, we will be converting you guys over the next 2 months. So you'll still have access to everything. And those of you who had our old program and our lifetime membership, you will continue to have access to that program. We just won't be adding anything new into the program. Oh, okay. I didn't know you did, Valerie. Yeah, we just won't be adding anything new. But as long as you're in Elevation Mastermind, you'll get access to this program. You and your team will get access to this program as well. Good question. Thank you. Give me that scripture, girl. I'm claiming complete and total healing. Complete and total healing. Any other questions about the ECE Learning Lab? We know that some of you have already signed up. We're excited about what we're going to be doing next. Next week, we have our Enroll 20 classes starting back up, as well as our first classes in the ECE Learning Lab. So we're really excited. And then on Tuesday, for those of you who have VIP, we will be right there with you for VIP. So we have great things happening. We appreciate you guys for all your love and support. Thank you guys for toughing it out with me over the last few days as we went through this challenge. But I wanted to make sure that everybody who wanted to do the annual planning had an opportunity to. So we're excited to see you in the ECE Learning Lab, to see you at the conference and our upcoming trainings. Thank you guys for being a part of this challenge.
every day that you meet somebody who really wants you to win. I think what is so amazing about Brandy is that even when she came to me with this vision, it was really out of a frustration of trying to launch our child care centers and running into established owner after owner who refused to help us. And so Child Care Millionaires was really birthed out of a place of frustration, but then out of a place of truly wanting to share what it was that we were blessed with others so that they would not have the same struggle.
This is my 5th conference with the Child Care Millionaires Association. I feel like each conference, each year, I grow a little bit more, I learn a little bit more, I become a little bit more successful in my business and personally. One way that I see that they help us wing it to win it is by having a personal touch. Brandy, Coach Condi, Coach Natalie, Coach Tamika, Coach DeShannon, all of them love to be very involved with the attendees and the participants of the organization.
I love Brandy. I love Natalie. They have pretty much spoken to my wife and told her exactly the same things that I've been saying for years. So I greatly appreciate them. They're now part of our family, you know?
It has been an amazing journey being part of Elevation Masterminds. They have been an amazing partnership with us. They have taught us so much. A lot of great things for our business, a lot of personal things to grow myself as a CEO. Thank you, Elevation Masterminds.
I am back for another wonderful conference at Child Care Millionaires Live, Houston, and my experience with Elevation has been winning. I've grown from the first video conference in 2020 during COVID, listening to Brandy, getting the ideas, the camaraderie, the sisterhood, knowing that I can do this, gave me the confidence to keep moving.
When I started Elevation Mastermind, when I came to the conference, I didn't have any type of direction. I just heard this Child Care Millionaire thing, and I felt like that's where I needed to be. I needed to experience it. I heard it on the computer enough, and it was just time for me to be in the building because it just seemed like the energy was amazing, the people were authentic. It just seemed like that. So I was like, I have to see what this is really about because, you know, TV, it can seem a little fake sometimes. But when I got here, they had me in the middle of the floor crying because they was ready to help me, hold my hand, support me, and be there for me on my journey. I noticed that when I was in the middle of the floor, I had my sisters circle around me to support me and be there to help me get through this journey. I came here not owning a center and just wanting to have a center and working in my mom's center that I love dearly, but I had put my dream on the back burner because I felt like I wasn't doing what I needed to do for my family first, and I had to keep putting them first. But sometimes you could put you first and still take care of your family and make sure that you're living your dreams. So after signing up for Elevation Mastermind, I got the whole pie, not the slice of it. You know, the conference is just a slice, but Elevation Mastermind is the whole pie. I got the coaches calls that would just help me figure out where I wanted to go. I got the accountability partners who would check on me and make sure I was good, not just in my business, but in my personal, in my mental, in my emotional, and even in my spiritual. I have sisters praying for me, hoping and wishing that I win with them. So what are you waiting for? Because we want you to win. Like, no, for real. We want you to win. You should come, join us.
We want you to win.
We want to see you win.
We want to see you win.
Have you heard? Your losing streak is over. At Child Care Millionaires, we want to see you win. Welcome to your winning season.
I can tell you for a fact that Brandy really wants you to win. And it's one thing for people to say it out of their mouth. It's another thing for them to literally put their effort, their support, and their action where their mouth is. And I think that over the years, we've seen Brandy do this time and time and time again. And so I can tell you there's not a better coach, there's not a better cheerleader, there's not a better advocate in childcare than Brandy Wood Smith. And I'm not just saying that because she's my sister.
All All right, guys, in 2026, we want to see you win. If there's any way that we can support you guys, please let us know. You can always reach out to us at membership@childcaremillionaires.com. I also put the interest form, and I'll drop it again. If there's anything we could do to support you, please let us know. We are definitely here and want to support you in any way that we can. Again, our conferences is in May and November, and we hope that we will see you at one of them. If you do get the annual to the ECE Learning Lab, you get one ticket, and we'll send you an email of how to claim that ticket. So we're so excited to be in fellowship with you. Continue to pray for me as I pray for you. I am going to get better. I'm going to be 100% real soon. But I would never want to let you know that you guys that we're ready and willing to learn, and I didn't show up. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Hey, Pat, send us an email. We would love to know more about what you do with kids. So thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that. Y'all have a beautiful night. Have a wonderful first full Friday of the new year. And let's get it in. It's only up from here. We have so many things that we should be thankful for. Let's hit this year with a space of gratitude. Remember, we talked about on the first night, fear and faith cannot reside in the same space. So we have faith that this year is going to turn out exactly the way we need it to turn out. I will see you guys soon. I'll definitely see you at the bank. Keep praying for me as I pray for you.